In case you're joining us right now on the Clinton County Fair Live show, we are live streaming right now on WILO TV. You're seeing the Llama portion of the 4-H program right now. We have the contest that's going on that is the costume contest where they actually dress up the llamas. They also dress up themselves and they go as a pair, and it has to have a theme of some sort. So we've had Little Miss Muffet, we've had a party girl, a little bit of everything. So it gets to be kind of fun to see how they dress them up. And right there we have a baker, and they're baking all kinds of items, recipes for 4-H fun. And that's what the theme is right there. And that's, if I believe I know my kids, that's Mackenzie Smith right there with her llama. It's kind of a cute program. This is towards the end of the llama portion of the contest. They also have an agility contest that they do, and a skills contest, and then the kids also have building projects along with this project. So it's very interactive. There's several parts of the program, and I'm interested to see how we're going to title this next one. It's a shopping cart. The llama is actually dressed up like a shopping cart. So that's really cute. A little bit of everything in there, some vegetables, and the llama is actually dressed up like peas. So if you caught that as it came around the corner, it's kind of neat. We have several more contestants to go in the llama contest, the dress-up portion of the contest. And they have actually been working at this all day. It actually starts out in the morning, and then it continues on into the evening, and they will wrap just shortly before we start going into the Supreme Showman contest this evening. Joining me this evening for the Supreme Contest is going to be Mark Clements. He's our resident expert. He's actually the vice president of the 4-H Council, but he's been involved with the showmanship portion for many years, and he'll be our resident expert commentator this evening. And we want to give a shout out to Russ Casper. Russ is running all the equipment for us, and we appreciate his time too. So he's our video cameraman right now. Now that's pretty cool. We got a little sock hop going on, and the DJ, and they danced so hard they lost their shoes. And now we have, I am going to say, pretty close to the llama's version of Little Red Riding Hood. And instead of baked goods, they're hauling hay to grandma's. Now, as they're going around, the judge is judging not only the costume, but also how well the llama handles the costume, handles wearing it, because not all animals you can dress up. Believe me, I tried as a kid. I had a poor cat that I put through everything in the ringer, so not all animals are very happy about being dressed up, but the llamas seem to take it all in stride. And also in the background, they have a person who is actually reading a script. So these are all scripted. There might be music playing if they have music in their theme. It's kind of fun. I believe we have, it looks like, I'm going to say that's an airplane that's going to land here in just a moment, just from what I can see, but I'm not sure. We'll see when they get here. Yep. We have a plane going by with a navigator and a pilot. That's a pretty interesting concept. I've never seen anybody try that. That's actually, I wonder how well that would work for a little one to wear for Halloween too. I mean, if it works on a llama, maybe I can dress my grandson up in that. I don't know. He may not be too conducive to that, but that's a pretty cute little outfit. And of course, like I said, they have a script that's being read to go along with it, so it tells a story. And the judge, again, is checking to see how well the llama handles wearing a costume, also how well the handler deals with the llama itself. And the outfits do make it a little more difficult for the llamas to get around, but they seem to take it all in stride. And we have a patriotic. That's a celebration in the USA. You can't hear it, but there is actual music playing in the background. Miley Cyrus Party in the USA playing in the background. So that's pretty cute. Very fitting, actually. I mean, we're going into political season really hard and fast here very soon. So and that little llama is just not quite as happy as what some of the others have been for the outfit. So she's having just a little bit of an issue. And now we're going to, now the judge has given them instructions and they are going to be lining up another direction. She wants to see a vertical, I don't want to say vertical or horizontal, but she wants to see a long view. She wants to see a side view of the animals, and she wants to see them actually walk together. And unfortunately, our disco bobby socks are there, just lost part of their costume, just lost the shoes though, so it's not too bad. If you want to know more about the Llama project itself, just go to www.clintoncountyllamas.com and you can actually learn more about the project itself and learn more about the species. There are more than one class. I am going to say this is probably the intermediate class. Could be beginners. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure how many classes, how they break the classes down for llamas. But I do know some of the kids that are out there, so I'm going to say that this is more likely the intermediate class, which is going to be, intermediate is going to be like your 4th and 5th grade. There might actually be a couple of older kids out there, but most of them I'm going to guess are 4th and 5th grade, maybe even 6th grade. But I would say probably nobody older than that at this point. Now these kids have to work with these llamas every week. If they don't own the llama, they can lease the llama. And by doing so, they go out to the farm where the llama lives. They go out, they help take care of the llama. They help maintain their wool. A lot of people don't realize that they actually are a wool animal. Very similar to Angora, which is, most people are familiar. It's a hair wool. It's not like sheep. It's a hair wool. And they have to help maintain that. They help feed them. They work with them every week. They have meetings. They learn all about the llama industry, not only the animals themselves, but also products for the llamas. So there's a lot more to the project than what a lot of people realize, what they have to deal with. And they learn a lot about what is made out of the hair, or like I said, it's similar to an Angora wool. It's a hair wool. And they actually learn to make some of those products. They learn how to spin the actual wool, and it's kind of neat. If you ever get a chance to, like I said, get on the website, www.clintoncountyllamas.com. Get on the website and check it out. You'll find a lot of information there. Elaine Brovant has been the leader of the Llama Club for many, many years. In fact, the majority of the llamas actually reside at her farm. And I know that this is something that she's been very passionate about. And she does such a great job, not only with the animals themselves, but also with the kids. Now, the judge is going through right now, and she is going to ask them questions about their costumes. She's going to ask them questions about how they came up with the theme of their story, and also she's going to ask them a little bit about their llamas as well.
This is a lot of fun, isn't it? This is a lot of fun.
It is. It's kind of neat.
And creativity is important, and I like the theme. We do want to thank Brant Hirschman for Clinton County's Senator Brant Hirschman for making it possible for us to be here. Looks like the judge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah, there's 9 of them out there, and if I can get Elaine's attention here real quick, I'm going to see if I can find out what class this actually is. Elaine?
Yeah.
Is this like...
No, this is begin. 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. This class is right here.
She's checking on the class. I think she said 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, but Melissa will clarify that.
This is beginners. We have
beginners.
9 in the beginners class. And Elaine, do you have a moment? I know you're busy out there, but would you want to tell our listeners a little more about what the project entails?
I would love to. This is our costume class, which is the most fun, and one of my favorite classes of the show as well. And what the judge is looking for as she's going down through the line is the costume securely on there. How much of the animal is it covering? They get more points the more coverage they have on that animal. They have to write a no longer than 1 minute narrative to go with their costume, and she takes that into consideration on her points. We've asked our Queen's Court to give us an audience appeal score as well, so she will take that into consideration. And then just how the animal reacts with the 4-H'er. And these 4-H'ers have worked with these animals all summer long. It's hot out here. They're hot. Their animals are hot and tired. And for those animals to be standing that good is kudos to what these kids have done with them this summer.
Right, and I know they're out at your house every week working with these animals, at least, if not more. And some of the kids would live out there if you'd let them.
They could. We have 39 llamas here. Only 19 of them are from my farm or ones that I borrowed from other clubs or the rescue, and the others are all owned by other 4-H'ers, so I think that's pretty awesome too.
Yeah, this program has definitely grown, and it's all kudos to you because you started this and you've kept it going, and you've been the leader. How many years have you done this now?
Oh my goodness. My daughter was a junior when I started, and I don't want to have to tell everybody how old she is.
Well, neither do I, because your daughter's, what, a year older than my son? So, yeah, we don't even want to discuss that right now. I know exactly where you're at with that. But you might, if you've got the time, I know you're waiting on the judge, you might tell them a little bit more about what these kids have been through all day long, because this is not just now. This is a long, drawn-out show. They have several categories that they have to hit.
That's very true, Melissa. They started at 8 o'clock this morning, and unlike other species, we do our showmanship first. So they started right out in the ring first thing this morning doing a showmanship. We had classes of as many as 13 and 14 for showmanship. So they have had to be on their best all morning long. Then we did all of our obstacle classes before we took a break and went for rides on the Midway. Now that that's over and we're doing costume class, that will be our last class, so we can go into supreme showmanship tonight for the other species. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. our minis take the ring with their little llamas that their mentors have been working with, and they'll do a brief obstacle class. Then we have a pack class and a public relations class tomorrow. So we look to be going at least all morning, if not into the afternoon a little.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just in and out like it is for a lot of the other species.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's fantastic that I've watched this project from the get-go, from the very beginning when you first started this, and to be this huge and this
me
big.
of this excitement over the project when I was starting this.
Yeah, like you didn't already know. Please.
Love these animals.
You're the one of them that helped talk me into being a 4-H leader to begin with. So
Good.
you know.
Good.
It's a great project and a very misunderstood animal, and that's what I think a lot of people, and especially the general public, get out of this more than anything.
And I might tell you too, Melissa, one of the things we work on as a club is not just their 4-H projects, but we do life skills as well, which is a big thing for 4-H. So these kids, as one of their obstacles, will have to learn to shake somebody's hand this year. And they will be required in their obstacle course tomorrow in public relations to go up and shake somebody's hand. I can't tell you the number of people who don't know how to do that properly. If you've been in 4-H or FFA, you ought to know that. But there's a lot of the public out there that doesn't realize there's a proper way to shake somebody's hand. And that's one of the things we've really worked on hard with these kids this year. Another life skill is looking people in the eye. And, you know, that's so important. And all of our showmanship judges this year are kind of reiterating that. But it's so nice to have them say something that we've been talking to these kids all year. You will also tomorrow in public relations hear every one of the children introduce themselves and their llama on a microphone, because we've been able to do that at several of the nursing homes that we visited this year. So they're learning some life skills that we hope put them above the rest of the crowd when they start applying for jobs as older adults.
Right, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. And like you said, 4-H and FFA kids, that's automatic.
Exactly.
That's part of their education and through those organizations, and it stands true to leaders like yourself that you make sure that that carries through the project itself. And I'm tickled that you guys have your public relation part. We have ours, and like I have sheep and I have hogs and everything at our house, and we have that as well. And I love the fact that we've gone back to public speaking in the building projects. That is fantastic. That's the other thing that we have not talked about. And I know we're trying to watch the judge here because she's been asking and she's getting her scores put together. But we have not talked about what these kids actually get the chance to do in the building projects as well.
Oh, yes. I will have to tell you, and I was overwhelmed today. They gave me a gift as their leader, and I had gone up and really raved about a building project that is, we have llama crafts and llama posters. And one of the llama crafts that I've never seen done that I was so impressed with is a young lady took a lampshade, put llamas on it, and it's just a fantastic project. And they, this morning, presented me with a lamp and a lampshade that has llamas on that. But what was so neat was during the presentation, they say, we know how you say practice, practice, practice is important. This is our practice lamp. And we then got champion with our project. And that just means the world to you when you hear things like that.
I know what you mean, and being a leader myself, I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I mean, I think it's so cool that these kids actually learn about the industry itself and what these animals offer to the agricultural industry.
We had a ground driving project this morning too. We try to incorporate in our show all the different things you can use an animal for, except guarding. We don't do a guard, but we do pack, public relations, regular obstacle. We do a ground driving because llamas can be trained to pull carts. and then we do the fleece part of it as well up there. So there's lots of opportunities for a child that wants to be involved. We have some that only want to do posters or only want to do crafts, and that's okay too. But they have the resources in our county to be able to do that.
Well, I know I've been promoting the website, but what's the best way for these kids to get involved in this practice? How do they get a hold of you? Because I know this is a year-round project. This is not just during the 4-H season.
Very true. They can always call 249-3105. If they don't have time to write that down, contact the extension office. They'll give them my number. And then we also, if they just go on and sign up for the project, they're going to be able to get... I got to stop because my granddaughter just got champion, so I got to stop and enjoy this moment a second, Melissa.
I'll let you enjoy it, and then I'll also let you introduce who's winning, because I know some of the kids, but I don't know all of them.
Second or first? Oh, okay. Okay. Peyton Webster is our champion costume. She has a shopping cart that is overflowing with stuffed Shopkins and is dragging a shopping bag behind her. There is coverage on the feet. There is coverage on the head. There is coverage on the face because there's a netting over the face.
I like the fact that it looks like a pea.
Yes, the head does look like a pea. And one of the things the judge looks at that I forgot to mention earlier is the safety, too, for the project. So obviously it's important that she be able to see through that but still have safety. The reserve champion was Miss Peyton Teeter, and so it's the Peyton's year, I guess. And she is Little Miss Muffet, and her llama is the spider, or dressed up as a spider. I was going to try to quickly say who the others were. We have Samuel McGowan, Autumn Long, Madeline Seast, Addison Chambers, Mackenzie Smith. Who did I miss?
Actually, I see Autumn, I see...
Cora Rotler.
Okay.
I'm kind of watching as they're coming behind the bleachers.
Yeah, I think that was...
That might have been the end.
I think that was it.
Okay. So we will quickly be going into intermediate, and I'm going to leave you and go over here. But thanks for letting us tell about our fabulous friends.
Not a problem. Thank you for taking the time, and enjoy that victory.
We will. We'll get it ready for State Fair.
That's right. This is a State Fair project as well. We want to thank Elaine Brovant. Like I said, she is the leader of the project. She's been very versed in this for many years. They actually raised several of them on their farm, and it's kind of neat to, as she said, that's grown from the projects, that the animals that she has on her farm. Many of these kids actually own their own llamas now. So used to, it was a totally leased program where all the animals were leased, and now it's grown so much. 39 members, that's huge for this project. So I'm kind of hoping if we this keeps going that maybe we get to see the queens do this tonight, but I do know that a lot of times the queens will do the agility test tomorrow, and that's kind of cool to watch the queens actually lead them. It makes a new project for them.
Well, this is a whole new world, isn't it?
It is new.
I think a lot of folks in Clinton County don't know what's going on. Now, these are a little bit older kids?
Yeah, this is intermediates. This will be your 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Okay.
The first classes that we saw earlier, just that went out just a little bit ago, were your 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. That was your beginners. Jailhouse Rock, I like that. And if you can tell, the llama is actually dragging a ball and chain. So they're on the chain gang.
Orange.
Yep, wearing orange. That's pretty cute. That is pretty cute. Like she said, you look for the covering of the as much covering as possible of the animal themselves. The safety factor of how safe it is for them to walk. They have to have covering on their heads, and how well they do with that.
We're going to make Kinsey Talking Radio tonight. You missed her on Wednesday.
I tried tried to leave her alone. It's her last year. If she,
I said it's
honest
her
to
last
God,
year. You need to be on that ring.
honest to God, I wouldn't mind having her come up here because she's warm. And it would be kind of nice.
If you've just joined us, we're watching the Llamas. They do not have an entry into the Supreme Showman, so this is kind of a special thing for the Llamas to do. And Melissa Miller is kind of walking us through, along with some help from some very knowledgeable folks. You're watching WILO TV, and this is made possible by Clinton County's Senator Brant Hirschman. We appreciate his support to allow us to be here today. Looks like a camo there, camouflage.
I was talking to Juanita Padgett. Juanita Padgett is actually one of our 4-H council members, and we were discussing Supreme Showman because her daughter is actually won Supreme Showman, and yesterday she was actually working in the ring with some of the kids who have won Masters this year who are going to be going after that Supreme Showman, and she was coaching them on the different species that they're not familiar with. These kids, when they win, there is their responsibility to go speak to other people about the other species that they've never shown. So her daughter was coaching some last night, and we're actually going to try and get Mackenzie on the up here to talk when we do go into Showman, just to get maybe a winner's point of view, a contestant's point of view, and let her give us her thoughts on the contest. Okay, we have kind of a fantasy theme out there right now. That is a unicorn and a fairy. The llama is actually dressed up like the fairy, and the handler is actually very bravely wearing a unicorn mask in this heat. That's got to be hot in there. And
that is
before
hilarious.
That, we had our ROTC people, so.
Yeah, so the llama is the fairy.
Yeah, the llama is the fairy.
A lot of creativity on this, no doubt.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, they have to really think about what their theme's going to be, and as Elaine said, they have to write a minute narrative to go with it. So they have to write their own story.
I think if we do this next year, we'll pick that up on the audio. We'll just run a cord over to the PA system.
Yeah, it would be kind of neat.
This is our first rodeo, if you will, on this with WILO TV. So we are on a learning curve as well.
Yeah, so
and a lot of fun here.
Definitely be kind when you're listening to us. And I mean, I'll do my best, and I'm sure I can get Mark will do quite a bit of the talking, because Mark, like I said, he is our resident expert on Supreme. I've been involved in 4-H for several years, and my kids were all 10-year members as well. And but Supreme is just it's a little different breed, and Mark has worked with the contest itself. So I'm kind of anxious when we get Mark up here and get his thoughts as well. We only have 3 contestants in intermediates, so a lot of the growth, it looks like, in the project itself has been with the younger members, and that's fantastic. It gives them another outlet.
What is the middle one there, Melissa? I know it's
ROTC.
ROTC. Okay,
Yeah,
I saw the
ROTC.
camo there, but I didn't expand on that theme.
Yeah, that's our ROTC.
All right.
I would imagine it might be a little hard for the judge to hear our unicorn through the mask, but I don't
and
know.
horses, unicorns don't talk very well either.
No, definitely not.
They keep slurring their R's.
But I'm also wondering whether or not, because Elaine mentioned the safety factor, the safety for the animal, but what about the safety for the handler? Is that mask really a wise choice? So it'll be interesting to see whether or not points are counted off for that.
She's saying something here.
Well,
She's probably getting the input on the audience participation.
Yeah, well, our queens have been asked to do, they have to choose their visual favorite.
Okay,
So
and I think they're also watching the audience.
Yeah, and there's points there with what the queens have to pick their favorite, and they get points for that too. So
Very interesting.
We've been very blessed to have a very active Queen's Court. Queen McKenna Eldridge, first runner-up Miranda Robertson, second runner-up Kaylee Pletch, and Miss Congeniality is Izzy Ward. They have been very, very active in all of their duties, and they have tried to make the rounds for everything. They've done really well. They've done a great job. They're fantastic with the general public and very, very great with the kids. It's definitely a testament to our young adults in this community.
It looks like here come the ribbons from the Queens.
She's talked about the Queens actually were a unanimous choice along with her scores. They were actually right along with her. So first place went to our Jailhouse Rock. Champion goes to our Ferry. And reserve's going to go to our Army ROTC.
So the grand went to the Unicorn.
Yeah,
that was very creative.
Yes, the Unicorn did get champion. So we did the safety factor that I was concerned about was not a factor at all. So. So I'm going to see whether or not we can get a word from our court down here to see what their thoughts are on this process. Ladies, can I ask you briefly? So what are your thoughts on this actual project and this portion of it, and how are you determining your part of the score? What's your thought processes as you go?
I think that this is a fun competition. It's by far the most laid back and fun to watch so far. And we were told to judge by how much coverage the animal has, audience appeal, and how well the outfits go together. And it's been really fun so far.
Well, I do want to give you guys a shout out. I already, went through your names and everything and where you're at and everything, but I just want to give you guys a brief shout out because you guys have been fantastic. You guys have been probably one of the most active courts I have seen over the years. I'm a 4-H leader as well, so I've been involved with this many, many years, way too many. We're not going to discuss it. But I do want to thank you very much for your participation and how well you guys just get out there and you work with the kids, you work with the general public, and it's been amazing to see. You guys are a testament to our young adults.
Thank you.
And by the way, congrats.
Thank you.
I wanted to get a hold of you yesterday, but what a show for you. You did well yesterday in the swine show. You had a great show.
Yeah, I was blessed. It was awesome.
So, all right. I'm going to let you guys get back to it. It looks like we're ready for our senior division. Okay, we are in, that is a tiny little baby llama. We are in our senior division right now, and we have Raggedy Ann and Andy coming out. Very cute, very cute. And that looks like we have a bulldog for Clinton Central. We have that's definitely our mascot.
His little sign said "Gold Bulldog." So.
Yep, and he even has his dog bone around his neck.
Ah.
So. A testament to the Clinton Central Bulldogs right there. I was trying to see what his number is on the back. He's either got a number 9 or a number 6. I'm not sure which. That's pretty cute. That's creative. That's pretty creative. Raggedy Ann and Andy's pretty cute too. Now let's see what we got coming next. And as again, this is our senior division. This is going to be 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So this is basically high school. This looks like a lot of fun. The music that's playing is Walking on Sunshine. So we have a rainbow. We have fairy wings. We have emos. We have Pac-Man. It is totally 80s is the theme. Cabbage Patch.
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call? The Ghostbusters. I think the My Little Ponies on the tray being dragged back behind it is a nice touch also.
That's hilarious.
And a Rubik's Cube, if I'm not mistaken. There is a Rubik's Cube there.
All on
too.
an 80s theme.
Yeah. And there's definitely a lot of creativity with that because let's face it, none of these kids even were thought of during the 80s.
Yeah, it would have been
which really makes me feel very old.
Yeah, it would have been like a 40s theme for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Very cute, very cute. I do have to say though, the My Little Ponies on the silver tray is a pretty good touch. I like that with the Rubik's Cube. Oh, did you see the Argyle socks? Now that's a nice touch too. Argyle, as much as I hate to admit it, Argyle did come back in the late 70s and early 80s.
That's funny. Yeah. And what's that thing hanging down? Oh, that's a My Little Pony hanging down almost like it's it's suspended from its neck or nose or something.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's hilarious. They're all creative, you know. It
is very creative, and of course you got the rainbow theme there too. And rainbow was a big color scheme in the 80s. I can remember kids wearing socks, the tie-dyed shirts that were rainbow, even headbands and sweatbands that were rainbow colored. But especially socks, that was a big thing. That's a pretty cute idea. Although I gotta admit, my heart's gotta be in the bulldog, but maybe that's just because I bleed green.
Yeah, I think coming from a gopher, I'd say you may be right.
Yeah. Now they have to go through the questions portions of the contest where they answer questions.
So what are they asking the llamas?
How badly do you want out of this contest?
Yeah, they're very patient, you know.
Yes, they are. They're honestly, unless you tick them off, they are actually very docile.
She's getting input again
yes.
From looking at the audience and also the.
Yeah, the queens have to do audience appeal. They look at safety. They basically judge the same as the judge herself. And creativity is a big part of that. Public opinion. So.
Very interesting. There's the queen.
It's
McKenna.
It's a very cute contest. Yeah, McKenna
Yeah, McKenna Eldridge.
McKenna Eldridge is our queen, and she's getting ready to go out, along with our second runner-up, Kaylee Pletch. And what I was talking to Kaylee about earlier was she had a big day at the swine show. She did really well with her animals, and she had grand champion gilt, so she had a big day. Grand champion is our 80s theme. Reserve goes to our Bulldog, and first place goes to our Raggedy Ann and Andy. So very cute, very creative. Yeah, I think it was the My Little Ponies that did it, put it over the top, had to be. Although it could have been the Cabbage Patch. Hard to believe the Cabbage Patch dolls have been around that long. So that concludes the costume portion of the Llama contest.